Have you ever saved money so carefully that you started skipping meals, skipping small joys, skipping life itself, and still felt that one bad day could take everything away? There is a saying, never save money. It does not mean waste money or live without care. It means money should help you live, not make you afraid to touch it. Saving is important, but money must have a purpose. In a small town where electricity went off again and again, there lived a man named Ethan. He worked nights as a security guard at a warehouse far from the busy streets. Ethan was a simple, quiet man. He did his job honestly and never caused trouble. When he came home in the morning, his body was tired and his eyes were heavy. At night, instead of sleeping, he often lay awake, thinking about bills, power cuts, and the future. Life was not easy in that town. When the power went out, food spoiled quickly. Phones died, candles cost money, and even simple things became hard. One evening, the power went off while Ethan was eating dinner with his wife, Mia, and their young son, Leo. Leo was showing his schoolwork, but the room suddenly became dark. Mia lit a small candle and sighed softly, not angry, just tired. Leo looked at the weak light and asked how he could study like this. That moment stayed in Ethan's heart. That night, he decided to save money to buy a generator. People in town said a generator was safety, that once you had one, life became easy. Ethan believed this strongly. He took an old envelope, wrote the word generator on it, and hid it in a drawer under his clothes. Every week, he carefully put money inside. To save more, he stopped buying small things that brought comfort. He stopped drinking hot tea, stopped buying fruit, and did not buy new shoes, even when his old ones were broken. Each time he felt pain, he told himself it was for the future. At first, the envelope felt good. It felt heavy and full, and Ethan believed he was becoming safe. But life did not stop. One night, Leo became very sick with a high fever. They rushed him to the clinic, but the doctor asked for money first. Ethan opened the drawer with shaking hands and took money from the envelope. In minutes, the savings became thin. Leo got better, but Ethan felt afraid, not relieved. Soon after, the house rent increased a little, just enough to hurt. Then at work, Ethan was told his shoes were unsafe, and he must buy new ones. The envelope became empty again. Ethan worked more hours, slept less, and became quieter and more tired. He started forgetting things, speaking less at home, and feeling angry inside without knowing why. He heard people say that saving money makes you safe, but his own life showed something different. The more he saved, the more scared he felt of losing it. One dark night, when the whole town lost power, Ethan stepped outside and saw a bright light in a neighbor's house across the road. It was Mrs. Carter, an old woman who sold snacks near the school. Her house was calm and bright while the rest of the street was dark. Ethan walked over and asked her how she still had light. She smiled and showed him a rechargeable lantern. She said she charged it when power was on and rented it to others when power was off. It helped her earn money and feel safe. Hearing this, something changed inside Ethan's mind. For the first time, he saw that money hidden in a drawer stayed silent, but money used wisely could speak in return. He went home thinking deeply, holding the empty envelope in his hands, feeling that maybe the problem was not how little he earned, but how he used what he had. Ethan sat at the small kitchen table late that night while the rest of the house slept, the candle burning low and trembling with every soft breath of air. And for the first time in years, he did not push the thin envelope back into the drawer as if it were something dangerous to touch. He opened it slowly, counted the remaining notes again, and felt no comfort in the numbers, only a tight weight in his chest. Because he knew how quickly those notes could disappear, and how easily fear had taught him to hide instead of live. When Mia awoke and asked quietly if he was still saving for the generator, Ethan shook his head, not with confidence, but with honesty, and said something he had never allowed himself to think clearly before. He did not want to save just to feel safe anymore. He wanted to build something that could actually help them live through each day. Mia looked worried because worry had become a permanent guest in their home.
But she listened without interrupting, and that listening alone felt like relief. The next morning, with hesitant hands and a racing heart, Ethan used part of the hidden money to buy 2 rechargeable lanterns and a small phone charger. Feeling exposed with every step home because spending felt like risk, and risk felt like failure. He made a quiet agreement with a barber nearby to charge the lanterns during the day, helping him close the shop at night in return. And though the deal was small, it felt like movement for the first time in a long while. That week, during another blackout, Ethan walked door to door in the dim streets, his voice low and uncertain, offering light and phone charging for a small fee. Some doors stayed closed. Some people looked suspicious, but others agreed, tired of darkness and silence. And that first night, he earned only a little. Yet it felt different from the money in the envelope, because this money returned with purpose and hope instead of fear. He wrote everything carefully in a notebook, showing Mia each number, each expense, each small gain. And for the first time, money was not a secret between them. Week by week, he added another lantern, then a power bank, learning slowly, sometimes painfully, what worked and what did not. Leo began helping too. writing names and times with careful letters. Proud to feel useful, proud to feel included. Their home changed in quiet ways that outsiders would never notice. Meals were calmer, voices were softer, and the rush to beat darkness faded. Neighbors knocked with respect instead of pity, asking if Ethan had light available. And even though some nights were tiring, Ethan felt stronger because effort now brought something back. One stormy evening damaged a lantern, and the old fear returned like a familiar shadow. But this time, Ethan did not freeze or hide. He used earned money to repair it, set simple rules, learn from the loss, and move forward. Months later, he bought a small solar panel, modest and imperfect, but enough to keep their tools alive. And when sunlight first touched it, Ethan felt a calm he had not known for years. That night, when the power failed again, their house stayed bright, steady, and warm. Leo asked if this meant they were finally safe, and Ethan answered gently that safety was not about hiding anymore. It was about building something that could stand again tomorrow. He flattened the old envelope and placed it inside the notebook as a reminder of who he had been, not who he wanted to remain. When people praised him for saving, Ethan smiled quietly and said he learned that saving alone cannot protect a life. But using what you have with care, courage, and purpose can slowly turn fear into light. In that town of blackouts and long nights, he understood that money is not meant to be hidden from life, but guided carefully through it. Because life does not wait for perfect plans or full envelopes, it grows through small, brave steps taken, even when the darkness is still close.